Welcome back to Truth in the Shed. This is series 7, and this truth is actually it's not really a truth so much, but it's an exercise, it's an idea, and I got it from somebody else's Instagram video. If I could remember the name, I'd give them the credit for it. I'll try and drop it into the comments of these videos. But a great exercise that I saw the other day and I thought I really liked because I realized it was something I do. So this is about narration. The idea of the exercise is kind of narrating yourself, narrating your life. And I'll explain what I mean about that. So I realized I did it a lot. I kind of talk to myself, right? As I walk around, I talk to myself. Yeah, a lot of the time I'm just talking rubbish to myself, or I'm singing songs to myself, or for me, random Simpsons episodes, quotes, or movie quotes, or DV quotes will jump into my head that are kind of relevant to the situation, and I'll be saying them out loud and talking them to myself. But what I kind of realized while watching this other video is that this is a kind of self-meditation, self-therapy, whatever you want to call it. So essentially the idea is if you are suffering with intrusive thoughts, for example, if you're suffering with sort of ADD type symptoms, or if you have ADD, if you are feeling really, really low, whatever it is, if you're feeling really anxious, really depressed, again, physically and psychologically, your body's getting tense, it's getting overwhelmed. What can be really, really helpful is to narrate what you're doing. So, for example, when you're washing the dishes, I'm washing the dishes. So what I'm going to do here, imagine you're doing like a vlog, a blog cast, a TikTok, whatever it is that people call it. Imagine you're presenting to someone and talk through what you're doing. So, for example, right now, I'm making a video. So right now, what I'm doing at the moment is I'm setting up my microphone here. So I've got my microphone. I want to check that the microphone is kind of close enough that people can hear me, but not so close that I'm kind of really muffled and maybe not too far away. I've got my laptop here, but I'm not actually using the laptop's camera. I've got my Logitech camera on top there. So it's a slightly nicer camera. Hopefully get a bit of a better image for it. I am worried though, because in this room, the blinds next to me are very, very bright because of the time of day it is. So it's kind of washing me out a little bit. So I'm wondering to myself if there's something I can do when I do video editing to kind of make myself look a bit less like a ghost. Also, I'm not in the shed anymore. I don't know if and at this point, you can kind of have a bit of a laugh to yourself. That was me doing it, by the way. At this point, you can have a bit of a laugh for yourself, couldn't you? Because you could pretend you've got listeners. So I don't know if any of our listeners have noticed, but actually, I'm not in the shed. I'm in a virtual environment now. I've taken working from home and remote working to huge extremes by not even wanting to commute to the bottom of the garden to the actual shed. And I'll be honest with you, if you followed my stuff in the past, the shed's in a bit of disrepair these days. So again, I'm narrating, but I'm talking to a supposed audience. It sounds a bit crazy, fine. If you feel that way, fine. But it can really, really help. Just keep your mind distracted, keep you focused. Actually quite a funny exercise. It can lift the endorphins and make you feel a bit better for yourself. I'm also a bit worried about, look at that, you can kind of see my piano in the background there. And now why is my piano running up and down? You can figure that one out for yourself. So I'm a little bit worried about the effect that this virtual background might have at times. So actually what I'm doing is when I'm recording, I'm usually keeping my hands here. So you get the general idea. Narrate what you're doing while you're going through your everyday life. You don't have to set up a camera. You don't have to film yourself. You can set up a TikTok if you want and get yourself an audience and they can follow your day-to-day doings. It's entirely up to you. People watched the craziest things on the internet these days. Case in point, some guy in the shed. So I thought that was a really nice exercise to kind of help keep the mind busy, keep ourselves distracted from those intrusive thoughts and those feelings of anxiety and stress, and just a fun thing to do. So if it sounds interesting to you, if it sounds like fun, give it a go. If you've got other members of the family or friends in the house or people you live with, maybe explain to them what they're doing so they don't get too concerned about you too quickly. But I think it's a fun exercise to try. In the meantime, thanks very much for listening, and as always, good mental health.